There's a ludicrous plan to build LNG export terminals on Hudson Bay. We absolutely can't build more fossil fuel infrastructure in Hudson Bay, and we're going to talk about what the risks of LNG are to Manitoba and the north.
Yeah, so liquefied natural gas, it's mostly just methane. It's fracked out of the ground. It's extremely destructive for the climate. Methane is extremely potent as a greenhouse gas. There's a ton of emissions that come with leakages, with all the transport, the extraction. It's overall terrible for the climate. And of course, there's also a ton of impacts on the land. There's so much infrastructure associated with LNG, whether that's pipelines, wells, compressor stations, all of that. It's extremely destructive towards critical habitat for marine life. And of course, many of these projects are also being pushed ahead without consent from nations whose territory they'll be impacting.
Yeah, and if we go to what it looks like to develop in the north, when we worked on the Churchill Oil by Rail campaign, moving across 1,000 water bodies to get out to Hudson Bay, going through endangered species territory like caribou, going to put pressure on polar bears in Hudson Bay. We're also going through continuous and discontinuous permafrost as the climate changes. Development on the permafrost is incredibly expensive and fragile into a fragile environment. First Nations, the Cree communities, the Inuit, the Métis communities that have spoken out to me about not wanting fossil fuel infrastructure in the north. We have to support their right to say no to this project.
LNG is also a super bad economic bet. The global market is going to be oversupplied. And so we're just locking ourselves into decades of emissions and away from renewables. Overall, LNG is a really bad bet for all of us.
The north is one of the places where, if we're going to get a handle on the climate catastrophe, we're going to need to work on our relationship with nature, and the communities in the north still have that intact relationship. So stopping LNG from being developed on Hudson Bay is a critical component of acting on climate and biodiversity, as well as decolonizing our energy systems.
We need to tell our elected officials to say no to LNG in any part of the country.
Yeah, Prime Minister Mark Carney, Premier Wab Kinew, they are talking about this, and we're not hearing objections. The people on the ground are telling me that we don't want to see this. We're going to get a letter writing tool out. You're going to write your letters to the governments and tell them that we're going to protect Hudson Bay from fossil fuels. I'm Eric.
I'm Isabel.
And we're with the Wilderness Committee.